Can a family be a cult? Yes, there can be family cults, typically being dominated by a father figure who has absolute control over the family, who literally never lets his children grow up. They stay in the family, they work, bring their paychecks to the family leader, and the marriages and the
So I was watching this, and when it came around to this point of the video, I started thinking about the differences between a family and a cult. Because sometimes just typical families can, in some ways, resemble a cult. I come from a pretty large extended family, and they all live roughly in the same area of South Jersey. So I grew up within a short drive from, aunts and uncles and cousins, and we would all get together for holidays and beach days and such throughout the year. And there were definitely dominant or more dominating figures, members of the family. And that's one of the telltale characteristics of a cult, is there will be a central leadership, whether it's an individual or sometimes it's two people, or sometimes it's a small group of people that are calling all the shots, and everybody else pretty much has to do as they're told. One of the differences that I landed upon when it comes to comparing typical families that maybe are a little bit cult-like to actual cults is with a family, you're allowed to make mistakes and they will forgive you and take you back. Like, blood is thicker than water and wine and such. You're allowed to disagree with the dominant members of the group, and you will still be forgiven and loved and accepted. You're also allowed to step away from the family for a while, like say I'm moving away, I'm going away for a little while to do something I've always wanted to do, or just take a breather and then come back after whatever, several weeks, months, maybe even years, and they will still accept you back with open arms because you're their family. They love and accept you no matter what. So you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to stick your foot in your mouth. You're allowed to not be perfect. You're allowed to rebel a bit. Again, disagree with the quote unquote leadership, mess with the hierarchy a bit. And you won't receive the severe punishments that they will hand down in a typical cult. Or what will quite often happen in a cult is a shunning. You will be shunned if you try to leave, if you do leave, if you question the authority of the central leadership, you are shunned. They forbid, not only will the leadership not have anything to do with you anymore, they will forbid all other members of the cult to have anything to do with you anymore. We see a lot of this happening with Scientology. So if someone who was previously a member of Scientology leaves that religion, that group, all the remaining members of Scientology are forbidden to ever have any contact with them ever again, which is really unhealthy. And that should tell you right there, Scientology, it's not a family of people. That is a cult. There is no forgiveness. There is no oh, okay, I understand that you believe something different and than I do, but I still love you and accept you and care for you. It is, no, you will believe what I believe. You will follow the exact rules that I want you to follow. You'll do exactly what I want. Or you don't exist to me. So, and that's not how family is. I was definitely, every family has one or maybe even a handful of black, depending on how large the family is, of black sheep who might go against the grain. I was definitely one of those who questioned everything, who challenged authority, and I was still loved and accepted regardless of that, of being sort of a pain in the butt to parental figures within the family unit. So keep that in mind. Because I do get the sense once in a while that that as if I was being considered for something, but or that people were going to reach out and contact me about something, but I don't know, I said or did something that they didn't like, and they decided not to follow through. So I don't know. Then I guess maybe you're a part of a cult. You're in a cult, dude. I don't know. Or yeah, or maybe they just decided they just didn't like me. But then I guess we weren't meant to be family. But even family, there are family members, at least in my family, don't particularly always get along. But they, family's family. You're bound by something more than agreeing on everything. And it's kind of hard to put your finger on what that is. It feels like it's more than just blood. But yeah. So don't ever let yourself be convinced that a group is a family when it's actually a cult. And you might want to look around you and reassess what you're actually a part of. Are you in a family or are you in a cult? Do they shun people for being a little bit different? Or do they love that person regardless? Do they accept that person regardless? Do they respect and appreciate that person, even though they are a little bit different, even though they messed up a little bit, said something they didn't like, did something they didn't like, made a mistake? So just saying, there's a big difference.